Okay, so I am starting my seed start for my peppers and a couple of tomatoes for 2019. I'm starting them now, which is roughly the first week of October. And I'm going to grow these throughout the winter time and bring them out in the spring. With pepper plants, unfortunately, I don't know if it's just my area, maybe I'm too high in elevation, but a lot of times pepper plants really don't do very good here. Most varieties don't do very good up here. You really got to get a head start here. That's why I end up wintering over a lot of my pepper plants, so I bring them out the next year and they fruit semi-early. I mean, sometimes they'll fruit in May, but most of the time I don't start getting fruit until June. Well, if I start from seed right out the gate, I may not get any fruit at all from them. Just really not the best area for growing peppers or tomatoes. So I start them early, and so what you see right here are my seed trays, and I mixed this soil. I did a seed starting soil mix video that I did, and I used this product to mix it. So we will be starting those, and I got all my tags cut and ready to go. I got all my seeds here, they're ready to go. And once I get them all planted up and labeled and everything like that, I will show you what we're growing for 2019. So we will grow these throughout the winter, and if there's any serious updates, I'll give you a progress update, but if not, you'll see them again in spring. I'll plant them out in pots, and that way you can see how far they develop between, I don't know, October and roughly April when I start bringing them out. So we've got a long ways to go. So I don't expect them to grow very big through the winter, but I don't want them to grow big. That's not my intention. My intention is to get past the dampening off process, let the plant develop a little bit of structure through the winter, for pepper plants mainly. And everything else is not a problem. Peppers and tomatoes, well, tomatoes you can start in spring, but growing tomatoes indoors is not really an option unless you have some kind of an atrium where you're getting the sunlight. It might survive it. Tomato plants generally need a constant source of light, long duration. It's a vine that you're growing. Whereas pepper plants are a plant, so you can get away with doing what I'm going to do here. So let me plant these out, and then we'll go over some of the species. We'll show you the list of what I got grown, and you can follow along through the winter as I do a few updates here and there. So be right back. Alright, so I figured I'd show you how I actually plant my seeds. When I'm doing this many varieties of peppers, you kind of have to have a certain type of discipline. And so I wanted to do one for you and just show you how I do it. I will make 4 holes in a pot. I got to work around the camera stand right here, so it's a little harder for me, but you know, I'll make 4 holes, not too deep. You want to go about 1/4 of an inch with peppers. You don't want to go too deep, but you want them deep enough so that taproot can go straight down into the soil. And so I already made up a tag for this. I'm going to take the seeds. This is from Pepper Lovers, so I'm going to take the seeds. Kind of hard to open these bags, but I'd rather have the plastic bags than the paper ones, because if a little moisture gets on them. 4 seeds in my hand. Okay, so you see I have the 4 seeds. So I do this to every pot, and the reason why I do it, and I'm very meticulous on the way I do it, is because it is very easy to make a mistake. If I start going around punching holes ahead of time and putting all the tags ready, if I do that, I can make a mistake very easily. So because of this reason, I have to do each one just like you see here, and this can take quite a while. So I take them, I drop them into each hole after I made them 4 holes. I can't see the holes now because of the cameras in the way. And then I just make sure I pull the soil over it. And that's it. I might press them down a little bit. Usually I don't even do this. I just don't want them like because these are still going to be sprayed with water outside in my driveway, because I'm going to pull these out. I'm going to spray them down with the hose. I'm going to let it get direct sunlight. So I just don't want the seeds to pop out of the holes, and that can happen. It does happen from time to time. And then basically I'll just take the tag and I will stick it just like this. And that's it. That's how I plant each variety, and I'm very meticulous. So if there is a mistake, or if I see another variety pop up in my planting, I will know it's not because of my, just being messy with seeds when you're planting. It's not because of me. It's because the seed was wrong in the package. I try to eliminate that possibility of me accidentally making a mistake. And I have made mistakes in the past. I simply put the wrong tag. I'm going ahead of myself. I'll punch these 4 out, and then I'll put the tags in, and then all of a sudden I put the wrong seeds in the wrong tab. And if you make even one mistake, it can just ruin your growing season. So you don't want to make mistakes. You really, really, really want to avoid that. I don't even touch these pots until I'm actually planting. So as you can see, the top of the pot has been filled with material, filled with soil, and then I spray them down, I turn them into a cake. So once they're turned into that cake, I do not disturb it in any way until I'm ready to plant. If there is something that comes up different than the variety that I planted, it wasn't because of me. I completely eliminate that as being a possibility. All right, so we're all done planting, and I do got a couple cells that are left over. I'll leave those open for an option to start another variety for next year. I might do another 1 or 2 dwarf tomatoes in here once all this stuff's sprouted. I might do them mid-season, see how they grow. If they grow pretty quickly, then I might do that. So I have some more tomatoes for wintertime. These are some of the varieties that I'm growing. So let me grab a seat, just kind of zoom you in. We're growing this one. This one's going to be a really interesting grow, because it's not quite a pepper, but it is a pepper. And it comes from Japan, so it's kind of a rare variety to come across, so I will be growing this one out. Seeds were very small. They were about the size of a sunberry seed, or smaller than a raspberry seed. I mean, they were really tiny seeds. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of those. We got the 7-pot bubblegum white, which isn't really white, but it's like a cream yellow bone color. So we'll be growing that throughout the winter. I am regrowing the ahi charapita, and the reason for that is my charapita seeds are out. I don't have any more, and the few that I did have, I've been trying to germinate those, and they're not coming out as charapitas, so I can't really do anything with those seeds. They're basically junk to me, to be honest. We got, this is new, this is the Corno di Capra pepper. That's going to be nice. Ahi Saito, the Malguta. This one's the one that I'm excited to grow right back here. The Wartrix. That's a nice pepper. That's going to be a real interesting grow. Been wanting to grow that one now for at least 3 years. I finally got around to getting seed for it and giving it a grow. We got Purple Cane in the back. We got the Yolo Wonder, which is a sweet bell pepper. Some of these peppers are just, I'm not sure what country they're from. Some of them are from Hungary. Some of them are from Turkey. Some of them are from just random countries throughout the Middle East. So I'm not sure what countries they're from. If you know a little bit about any of these varieties of peppers, comment below. Let me know. I got this one in the back, which is the Rainforest pepper. And we got the Ahi Cereza right back there. That was one I've been wanting to grow now for a couple of years. No particular reason, just wanted to grow it, give it a grow. Shata right there. I believe that's either a Syrian pepper. It might be Syrian or it might be Turkish. I'm not sure. Ahi Vardi. I'm not sure what country that's from. The Sila. Again, that could be Hungary or Turkey. Line, Hungarian or Turkey. Could even be Lebanese. One of those countries out there. I'm not sure. Mate right there. The Maris. We got that one. Goblasti. The peppers you're looking at now, this tray here, these are all generally from the Middle East. So most of these are coming from there, though there might be a few from South America that they're native to anyway. Ahi calabresa, that's another one. The Luna or Lunca, the Caraman, Coven, Eglin. I'll give you a better, closer look at them. Ahi Peruvian, that's going to be an interesting one. I believe that's like a bird pepper. I got to double check on that. I don't remember what that is, but that's going to be an interesting one. Tekin Dolmasi, that's either Hungarian or Turkish. Tiny Tim tomato, we're going to be growing 3 dwarf tomato varieties for the winter this year. So we got the Tiny Tim, we got the Totem tomato, and we have the Patio Hybrid tomato. So we're going to grow all 3 of those out. The hybrid tomato is more or less, I'm growing it for tomatoes, but I'm kind of growing it for an experiment because I want to see if the seeds come true on the next season around. So hopefully in spring I'll be able to replant the seed from some of the tomatoes that I got and grow those out and see if they come true. Over here, Cap 501. Cap is just a plant designation name for this variety. I think it's an annum. I'm not sure too much about it at the moment. Got to double check all that information. Then we got the Turkish Cayenne. We got Honey Pinot. Now I do have another Honey Pinot here, so I just labeled them differently because I got 2 packages, and they're both kind of spelled a little different. So I don't know if they're the same thing, or I really don't know. So I received both of those. We got the Turkish Sweet Ball, which I have grown in the past. Never did a review on it. And a couple years went by before I replanted it, and the seeds just simply didn't sprout. So that's an unfortunate thing. I had to rebuy the seeds for that. We got Bull's Heart. We got the Urfa stuffing pepper. I think that's Middle Eastern. It's either Pakistani, Afghani, I'm not sure. Again, when I do the videos on those, I'll get as much whatever details I can get on it and try to just give you the basic details. The Renkel 1, or Renke, I don't know if that's supposed to be a 1 or an I, AC1, I don't know. That's just what it was named. I could only write it down as I see it. Bombay Morich, that might be an interesting one. I don't think that's going to be standard. We got Cap 499. This is a Capsaicin Coense, or Coensis. That's going to be a nice one to see grow. We got the Bolivian Orange. That's going to be nice to grow. Dorset Naga. That's going to be a nice one to grow. We got Dwarf Tapine. We got the Dwarf Tapine right here. So normally tapines they're a wild pepper that grow in the United States most of the time. They grow Northern America, Central America, South America, but most of the native peppers in the United States are the tapines. This is a dwarf variety, so it doesn't get very big, maybe a foot tall basically, and that's it. So it's not a very large variety. Most tapine plants can get 5, 6, 7, 10 feet tall even, from what I understand. So the tapines or chilipatines, they tend to get very, very large. This is a dwarf variety, so that's going to be interesting to grow out. Sweet Green, don't know much about it. That's just the name of what that variety is. The Mary Mini Riccotto, this is a black seed variety, so this is going to be interesting to grow. And last but not least, for now, and like I said, I got 2 more trays, so I might do 2 more tomatoes in here, or I might add 2 more rare varieties. I do got some rare varieties of tomatoes coming in, wild rare varieties, so I might do 1 or 2 seeds in here just to see if they sprout and everything else. Bitola, and that's it. That's all my peppers and tomatoes that I'm going to grow through the winter. Under lights, which is going to be very low light. Again, I got a 90 watt setup, and I'm also going to have another 80 watt setup, both on the table, and whatever fits on that table is just about all I'm bringing in, and this is going to take up half the table basically. So I'm not going to have that much room for too much more than what you see here. As far as seed starting goes, the rest of the plants I have to bring in and crowd around there and really pack them in tight this year. Again, I'm using this as my seed starter mix. I mixed that roughly 30-70, 30% worm castings, and I use 70% peat moss. And I added some perlite and some sand to it too, just to keep it loose. And I am going to be feeding these plants throughout the winter with this worm tea. This is worm casting tea, so I'll be feeding it throughout the winter with that. So definitely I'll be doing some updates and showing you how I mix that up. That'll be an interesting product to see how my plants do over the winter, because I normally know how they do by the basic way that I water them. I want to see how they're going to do with this stuff, and I'm sure they're going to do a lot better than the way I've been doing it. Anyway, that's it. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.